They say love has many faces: joy, longing, devotion. But there is one kind of love that needs no applause, no witness, no return. A love that gives until there is nothing left. And yet, it shines brighter than 1,000 suns. This is the story of Mei Lin, a woman whose quiet heart carried the weight of a family, and whose final gift became a testament to the power of sacrificial love. In the early morning mist of Hangzhou, the streets are alive with the scent of steamed buns and jasmine tea. Among the narrow alleys stands a small tailor shop, Lin's Stitch House, its faded red sign barely visible through years of wear. Inside, Mei Lin, a young woman in her late 20s, threads her needle by the window. Her fingers move swiftly, but her eyes are tired, not from work, but from life itself. She had been both sister and mother since the day their parents passed in a car accident. Her younger brother, Wei, was only 12 then, too young to understand loss, too young to carry grief. So Mei Lin carried it for him. On the day of their parents' funeral, Wei sat by the graveside, his small hands trembling. Mei Lin held him close and whispered, "Don't cry, Wei. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure you finish school. Mama and Baba would want that." And she did. She dropped out of her own university studies and took over her mother's tailoring business. While others her age chased dreams, Mei Lin chased deadlines, one stitch, one customer, one rent payment at a time. Every yuan she earned went into her brother's school fees. Every meal she skipped meant one more book for him. And every night, when we slept, she prayed silently under the flickering light of their old lantern. "Let him have a better life, even if I can't." Years passed, and we grew older. He excelled in school, his teachers calling him a prodigy. He dreamed of becoming a doctor, to save lives, to honor his parents' memory. Mei Lin smiled every time he spoke of his dreams, but behind her smile, exhaustion grew, and so did a quiet pain in her chest. At first, she thought it was just fatigue. After all, she barely slept more than 4 hours a night. But one morning, she fainted at her sewing table. The hospital results came quietly, almost apologetically. Stage 2 cancer. Treatable, if caught early. But the treatment was expensive, far beyond what Mei Lin could afford. The doctor's voice was calm. "If you start now, there's hope." She looked at the bill. Then she thought of Wei's university entrance exam next month. She smiled softly and said, "Hope is a luxury I'll buy later." From that day, Mei Lin hid her pain behind brighter smiles. She told Wei she was just tired, that the medicine on the counter was for a cold. Wei, always buried in books, believed her. When he left for university in Beijing, she waved with trembling hands, hiding the IV marks under her sleeves. That night, she stood by the window watching the train lights fade into the distance, and then, for the first time in years, she allowed herself to cry. Her illness worsened. She continued to sew until her fingers bled, sending him money every month. Money he never asked for, but always needed. Letters from Wei arrived often, full of gratitude and excitement. He wrote, "JJ, I promise I'll make you proud. One day I'll buy you a new shop. You won't have to work anymore." Mei Lin would smile, fold the letter gently, and whisper, "You already have, little brother." Winter came early that year. The cold wind cut through the streets like a silent blade. Mei Lin's health declined, but she kept working. A blanket for an old neighbor, a wedding dress for a local bride. One evening, she received a call. Wei had been awarded a scholarship, top of his class, soon to graduate as a doctor. Her face lit up with joy. That night she wrote a letter, her hands trembling as she sealed it with red wax. Then she placed it in a wooden box along with her mother's sewing scissors and her own jade pendant. Her final gift. By the next morning, the tailor shop was silent. The door sign swayed gently in the breeze, and inside, Mei Lin lay peacefully at her table, a smile frozen on her lips and a half-finished dress beside her. Months later, we returned home, now a doctor in his crisp white coat. He rushed to the shop, eager to tell Mei Lin the news, but what he found was silence and the faint scent of jasmine that still lingered in the air. Neighbors told him what had happened. Tears blurred his vision as he fell to his knees. He found the wooden box beneath her sewing table, the letter, the pendant, the scissors. He opened the letter, and inside were the words that would stay with him forever. My dear Wee, if you're reading this, it means my work here is done. Don't be sad. Every stitch I made, every night I stayed awake, every tear I hid, it was worth it because it led you here. Be kind to others. Heal them. Protect them. Love them. Just as I loved you. That is my last wish. My last gift. Years later, Dr. Wei Lin became one of the most respected physicians in Beijing, but he never stopped writing letters. Letters he addressed to J.J. May. He would sit by the hospital window whispering to the stars, "Every life I save is because of you." He donated part of his salary to fund education for orphaned girls, naming the program Mei Lin's Hands. Her spirit lived on in every thread of kindness he wove into the world. Sometimes he'd dream of her, standing in the sunlight, sewing a dress of white silk. She'd smile and say, "You've done well, Wee. You kept your promise." And he would wake up with tears in his eyes, but peace in his heart. Love doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it whispers through quiet sacrifice. Sometimes it hides behind weary smiles. And sometimes it leaves too soon, but never truly leaves at all. Mei Lin's story reminds us that true love asks for nothing, yet gives everything. It may end in tears, but those tears water the roots of compassion in others. So, if you've ever been loved silently, if someone has ever given you more than they had, remember them, because somewhere, somehow, their love is still shaping your world. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment below. Tell us, what does sacrificial love mean to you? And don't forget to subscribe to Misa Modus for more stories that remind us that even in loss, there is love.